Alrighty guys, what is going on everybody? Welcome to the live stream. Hope everyone's doing good. Happy Sunday evening to everybody out there. Glad to have y'all here for yet again another weather update here. Let's go ahead and see who we got ourselves in the chat here for this evening. So we have ourselves Legacy, we have Crystal, we have Roby, we have David, we have Kathy. Let's see here. We have ourselves Mary, we have Roadster Jim. We have ourselves, let's see here, we have me, we have Mark, let's see here, who else is hanging out with us? USA Ball, we have, let's see here, Broccoli, Ryan, Weather Trackers, Jonathan, and that is who I see for the most part. What's up, guys? Hope everyone's doing good. Glad to have you here. And also, hello to everybody who is not commenting. Hope you guys are doing good. Let's see here, Keto's here, we have Shannon. What's up, guys? Hope you're doing all right. Glad to have y'all here. So, we are going to jump right on into the weather updates, my friends. We got ourselves a big update in the tropical world, even since the video I posted here earlier today. Earlier this afternoon, we posted a video here talking about everything, basically. That's what we're going to be talking about mostly regarding updates in this live stream. Plus, if y'all have any questions at any point, I'm going to try my best to answer them, obviously. But anyways, yeah, here regarding the tropics, no longer a 50%, it is now a 60% chance probability, so we jumped up again. We are really flying up the list here now. I would not be surprised if we get a high formation chance here within the next day or so. So look out there for that overall. But yeah, look at that, 60% chance probability of tropical development over the next 7 days. So this system has a really good shot at turning into a tropical depression or a tropical storm overall. Let's see here. So, tropical depression, you can see, could form late this week while the storm drifts northeastward across the western and central portions of the Caribbean Sea. So, that's that. Yes, it is. It is now 60%. So, that is an increased probability, something we need to look out there for. Let's see here. We got ourselves East Pacific. Nothing going on out there. Nothing going out in the Central Pacific as well. So, we just got this one little area popping off here across the Caribbean out there. Let's see here. Tropics are still active. They are, Roadster. They are, for now. For now. I mean, this is the last month of hurricane season. Hurricane season, I believe, ends on the 30th. So, let's see here. Looks like Sandy V2. Well, it's a little early to tell, but it's definitely cooler up there. I don't think it'll last, if it does work its way up there. Let's see here. We got ourselves, let's see here. Lysandra says, hi to all from Puerto Rico. What's up? Hope you're doing good, Lysandra. Hope you're doing all right. Andra. I almost said Andrew. Almost called you my own name. Let's see here. Almost middle of November and still active. Yeah, no, honestly, though, it's been, kind of quiet, though, in the tropics for a little bit. This is just another little spark up of activity that's been popping off here. All right, let's see here. We're gonna... Oh, does my thing not fit anymore? There we go. Perfect. Okay. Anyways, but yeah, let's go ahead and work our way over here to the models. Since we're on the topic of the tropics, we better well take a look at the latest GFS runs, the latest ECMWF, all them fancy models. Let's go ahead and line up the time. So yeah, if you guys want to follow along in the timing, it's just right above my head there. If you guys wanted to see what time we're looking at in terms of the frame. So once again, starting off here with the American GFS. So we work our way down in time here. The GFS has that activity popping off here. I believe a little earlier than what the earlier model was showing, actually. Yeah. So according to the latest GFS, it actually gets a little bit more active, a little bit more sooner, actually. It kind of seems like that low pressure develops here kind of around the late 14th into the early 15th rather than the early 16th, the model's talking about here overall earlier. No, this is the first time I've seen the new GFS, so this is all new information for me as well. So this model actually has it pushing a little further east of Jamaica, or a little bit further east than Jamaica. The trend has been lately that, this system here would go near Jamaica according to GFS, but it looks like it's going to go be going right out there towards like the Dominican Republic overall, which is really interesting. As a possible tropical storm, could be a possibility. It's probably going to be at its peak here, at least during the first couple of days, just before it makes that quote-unquote landfall, if it does. That's popping off here right around the morning of the 19th with a pressure of 994 millibars, which, that's right there around tropical depression, tropical storm status there. Which is really interesting, though, is that, this thing could turn into a subtropical storm out there as it approaches what's going on here. Could turn into a subtropical storm as it works its way out there towards back out there towards the central Atlantic. The GFS also has this system getting relatively close to Bermuda out there, but like I said, it's relatively far out. I don't like to look, obviously I don't like to take this too seriously at the moment. I mean, this is for November 19th, which, I mean, it's what like not too far away from now, pretty much, basically like 6 days. I mean, it's a decent little stretch, but we'll see how that plays out there. Let's see here. I think Jamaica impacts will be tropical storm impacts and weak hurricane impacts. I wouldn't go that far yet. We don't have that information. Let's see here. Hald says, hello, what's up? Hope you're doing good. Let's see here. Do I know if Indiana's going to get a bunch of snow this year? Probably going to be a little below average, Brett. What's up, John? Hope you're doing good. Glad to have you here. But yeah, so that's what the GFS has to say about it. Also, if you look closely, so remember that rainstorm we were expecting to cross the south. We'll get to that here eventually. But that system here, potentially goes subtropical just off the coast of the Mid-Atlantic here for the 18th, according to GFS, which is interesting. But then, yeah, it works its way down here in time and, kind of pulls its way out. But anyways, that's the GFS model. I just wanted to go ahead and mention that real quickly. So next up, we got the ECMWF. I think this is the same run from earlier today. Actually, no, it's not. This is actually a new run. Going right over Jamaica, going right over throughout eastern Cuba. It's actually starting to agree with the GFS, it looks like. In the latest run here, both of the models have this thing just cutting straight through. What is going on with this this site here? Anyways, but yeah, cutting straight through the Caribbean overall, which is definitely, definitely a good step in the right direction regarding the models, showing that there is a little bit of, like I said, that there is a little bit of, agreement here, showing that there's, some good, good potential, scenarios that are being worked out between the models, I should say. But yeah, so definitely something to look out there for. So yeah, the ECMWF also has this thing potentially getting down into the tropical depression, tropical storm status. So we'll have to see how that plays out. Let's see here. Last time I checked, the European model had it going east and west. Yeah, it was. Let's see here. Peter says, hoping Central Florida rain is low midweek vacation. Yes, yeah, that's where I live, actually, Central Florida. It's been pretty dry except for the last day. We got ourselves a little bit of, rainfall, little scattered showers that popped off. Let's see here. Can we look at the European model? This is the European model. Yeah, this is the Euro. We looked at the GFS a minute ago, overall, but yeah, this is the European model. One of the tracks said, like the Euro's new run. Yeah, it seems like that's the better, or the more likely scenario. Is it going right over like Jamaica and then cutting straight through, throughout the eastern Cuba potentially, and then rolling through like the southern Bahamas and then kicking out the sea. Seems like a good possibility. Let's see here. Ryan says, "Is anything coming to Texas?" Yeah, we got a bit of a rainstorm popping off right now. Actually, let me go ahead and show you that real quickly before we dive into the more models, into more of those models there. Yeah, we got ourselves a pretty beefy storm out there towards Texas. Driving quite a few inches of rainfall. We'll get into that here in a moment as well. And like I said, the models actually has this thing, kind of doing some odd stuff. We're actually gonna go ahead and shape out here or zoom out here a little bit. But according to the the models here, we get ourselves a low pressure system that develops and then kind of does something like this. Kind of kicks its way out there and rolls around the coast, and so this could be definitely bringing in a lot of precipitation out there, towards the south. I mean, not just Texas, but like I said, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, possibly even Florida get a little bit out there as well. So yeah, pretty big system, but we'll look more into that here in a minute. Let's see here. For anyone living in Florida, I live in Jacksonville, Middleburg, Florida. Gotcha. Anything on the SPC, Broccoli? We'll get to that in a minute. Let's see here. What do I think about a possible tornado risk for Florida midweek? I don't see any threats for tornadoes from Florida, so we're good. we're good regarding that. I don't see any big tornado events anytime soon. Those two troughs that we're going to look into, I still can't rule out the possibility of a severe weather event out of those. It seems to be a good possibility that we could get a little bit of severe weather because, typically those troughs bring up a lot of warm air from the south and bring a lot of cool air down, and then that mixing, between the warm and cold air causes that reaction to kick off. Which really sparks those thunderstorms. But that's the European model, guys, we were just talking about. So let's go and hop over to the CMC model. Now this one, let's see here. Oh, is this the same run? Yeah, this is the same run as the video we looked at. So this model has it, obviously going near, starting off pretty similar to what the American GFS and the European ECMWF had to say. But tracking right over Jamaica, working its way out there towards, eastern Cuba for the most part. But this one does a really interesting move. This model kind of does something like something weird like this. As you can see how it just goes east and then it pulls back to the west. It almost does like a T, as you can see there. It does a really odd shape. Actually, it does something a little more like this. It goes through and then it kind of pulls out like that. But yeah, the CMC model is a little odd, as you can tell there, which is definitely pretty interesting. It's one of the outcasts, I'd say, for the most part. Let's see here. Next up, we got the Icon model. This is another model we looked at here in the video, which, let's see here, 18 Zulu. Okay, so this is the latest one. This has not been shown in the video. This is the new update. Has it going right over Jamaica. So it really seems like that northeast movement of the storm is very well grounded between all the models now. So that's good news that we got a little bit of a increasing support. So the storm's going to be going right around in this region here. It's going to be tracking generally here to the northeast, in which obviously we are going to be seeing a lot of heavy rainfall, regardless of its strength, regarding like the wind speeds and stuff like that. Overall rainfall is going to probably be pretty heavy across some of these regions out there. Let's see here. Right now I'm seeing 45% chance for Friday, 70% chance for next Monday. Gotcha. Let's see here. Any rain for coming for Wichita Falls? Let's see here. What state was that in? Is that Kansas, maybe? Oh, wait, hold on. No, I'm dumb. Wichita Falls, Texas. What? No, the rain's going to stay to your south. Yeah, rain will be to your south, my friend. But anyways, let's go ahead and hop away over here, y'all, to the next big storms. I'm going to go ahead and switch you guys over here temporarily. But yeah, Wichita Falls, rain's going to be to the south. It's mostly these areas here. But let's go ahead and switch over here to the models. I want to talk about the latest model runs with the upcoming systems we're looking at. Like I said, we're not talking about one system now. We're talking about possibly an additional system following right behind it, which could definitely be pretty impactful. So let's go ahead and hop over here to these models here really quickly. We're going to go ahead and talk about this real quick before we move our way into that the system that's currently impacting the south. So this is the next big system we're talking about here. Now, right now, according to things, that trough is already starting to pop up here, guys. So you see that how the jet stream has that big dip right there. See how it goes down, and it kind of goes off, and then it's just kind of straight across the United States and then rolls up. So that's our jet stream pattern right now. Now watch this down in time. So as we work way down here towards the 14th into the 15th, we get ourselves, so first of all, this big trough, what we call it, obviously is, a really big dip in the jet stream, right? And so this is what we call a long wave trough, so a really long trough there. But what happens here is that trough, that area of circulation, gets cut off from the main jet stream right around the 16th, as you can see, and it kind of becomes independent, as you can kind of see. It's a really big swirl out there in the East Pacific. Now, that is going to be what we call a shortwave trough. That is a shortwave trough. So it becomes disconnected from the main jet stream. But look at this. So our time right now is at 7 p.m. on the 16th, so about, roughly 3 days from now. And look at the jet stream pattern now. So we got ourselves, a little bit of a dip in the jet stream across the north, out there towards the northern plains, for the really far upper Midwest. So that's our first potential first potential storm. Possibly could bring some snow. We'll dive into that here in a minute as well. But then, of course, don't forget we have that little shortwave trough out there to the west. That's going to be our secondary storm. So as we work way down in time, that big dip in the jet stream is going to really kick off across the Ohio Valley, mid-Atlantic. So what's happening here is that the wind speeds, or sorry, the wind direction is actually working its way to the southeast. And so this big pool of cold air up here in the north is going to be riding its way down straight into the country. So for the first couple of days, before this event kicks off here, there's something we call ridging, which is basically the opposite of troughing. That big dip in the jet stream is more of a big ridge. So that actually brings in a lot of warm temperatures. So expect the temperatures to be pretty warm, at least for the next couple of days, out there towards the central country. But once this system rolls through, it'll likely bring those temperatures pretty chilly, across some of those regions there. So overall, look out there for that. So yeah, that big pool of cold air is going to be dragging its way down here into the the northern country. So that's something to look out there for. And as we work our way out there towards, basically the 19th, as you can see, that big trough is still across the northeast, possibly still causing some impacts. But then, if you looked closely enough, that shortwave we had there becomes reattached to the main jet stream overall for the most part, and becomes another long wave, as you can see, apparently, according to the GFS model here. Which is definitely interesting. So that sparks off our secondary system a lot deeper into the country. I think this one right here, if this was to play out, I think this one would have a really good shot at potential severe weather out there. So that is something that, we need to obviously look out there for. This would be occurring here probably around the 20th, probably the late 19th into the 20th overall. So that's for storm number 2. So storm number 1 is going to start off here, basically starting on the 16th here, across the north, really popping off here across the 16th. For this point here for the 17th, working our way across the mid-Atlantic for the 18th, the northeast here basically for the 19th, and exiting here by the 20th. But then right as the 20th hits, our secondary storm is going to pop off here and then roll its way down. It's just a new pattern we're rolling into, my friends, is the new pattern that we're seeing here, which is going to be bringing load after load of storms across the country. So that is going to be something that we definitely need to be, really aware of across the U.S. over the next couple of weeks, I'd say. We went from kind of a quiet time for a while. As you guys probably have noticed, there's really not been a lot of crazy weather in the United States anyways. I mean, there's been, a couple, disturbances here and there. Like so the ice storm we had the other day, all kinds of, little stuff like that. But we haven't had a really solid system in, weeks now. But that pattern, I think, is definitely getting ready to change with these two systems. I think this one could definitely be, a good problem. Let's see here. But anyways, that's what's going on there. Let's see here. Let's see if I see any rain. Okay, we're going to look at Wichita Falls. Is this a tropical storm for Jamaica, or is it a rainmaker? So there is a possibility, like I said, they did mention, the Hurricane Center said that there is a possibility that that system could become a tropical depression, which is under a tropical storm. I'd say a tropical storm is possible. We'll just have to watch out for the additional development over the next couple of days. But yeah, we'll have to keep it out. Regardless, there's going to be a bit of rain more than likely across those areas. Yeah, more than likely. Let's see here. But yeah, so that's kind of what we're looking at. Let's see here. What's up, Carson? Hope you're doing good. Glad to have you here. But anyways, let's go ahead and do a quick little comparison here before we move on here. So that was the GFS model. Let's go ahead and compare it, because like I said, it's obviously good to take a look at more than one model to kind of, squeeze things out that are not really, agreed upon. Now, we work way down in time. Now, like I said, the models here are actually in pretty fair agreement. We get that, the first system that rolls through, or that trough, I should say, gets ejected and turns into a short wave. Then the first system pops through for the 16th and 17th. Then that trough, the big dip in the jet stream goes across the Ohio Valley for the 17th and 18th. Then, out there by the 19th. But then, look at that. So the European model actually has that system, that second storm, being a lot more significant. So this will be popping off here for the 20th. So both of the models definitely do agree on that overall. Some really wild troughs and ridges across the, for North America, really, which is really going to be... which is really going to be pretty crazy overall, with the weather patterns driving, first big storm obviously going through the northeast and, throughout really the northern part of the country. Then that second storm diving a lot more deeper south. I think storm number 2 is going to be the one that could potentially, drive maybe some severe weather even. So we'll have to see how that goes actually, because, like I said, that trough digs a lot deeper to the south, which can allow for a lot more warm air to pull up into the, the southeast. and bring down a lot of cold air a lot further to the south. So more interactions, more instability overall. But that is that. Let's see here. When will it become an invest? Not over the next 2 days. Yeah, I can tell you that one. It has a 0% chance of formation of the next 2 days. It'll probably be an invest here in. I'd say probably the next 3 days or so. We'll see. We'll have to see how that pops off. But yeah. So once again, yeah, the models are definitely very much on agreement mode here. Which here I'll do a side-by-side comparison real quickly before we move on here. Which is, like I said, yeah, they look pretty similar, don't they? Well, you can hardly see that. Let's go ahead and hide my my big fat head here. Let's go ahead and get rid of that here for now. But yeah, look at that. So you can see between the models how we have the big dip here on both of them. So that's very solid between the models here. That first storm, the GFS is on the right-hand side and actually shows that system maybe digging a bit more deeper into the country. That shortwave just remaining off the coast there, and then the next big storm could kick through, which obviously the European model has that second storm getting a lot more crazier than the GFS overall. Then, of course, after that, it becomes a little bit unknown of what the weather pattern is going to be after that. So, but yeah, like I said, good amount of agreement there. So we can safely say that it's a good possibility that we will see those two systems roll through the country. So overall, that's that. But anyways, let's go ahead and talk our way over here. So we're not done yet regarding the systems. I want to go ahead and talk about the potential of like precipitation and stuff like that. I want to see where the models stand right now. Obviously, it's nothing that's concrete solid yet, but I do want to take a look here at the precipitation type and all that stuff, just to see if we have any like crazy weather on our hands here. So we're going to start off with the American GFS model. So the first system rolls through here basically for the 16th. Let's see here. So this system, yeah, it doesn't really do too much for the northern plains, although it definitely, as you can see, those lines are pretty close together. The thing I would say out of this is that we're probably going to see some pretty windy conditions as this low pressure system rapidly strengthens. So expect some really windy conditions here, probably for the 16th into the 17th. Now that first system overall, that's going to be driving potentially a lot of precipitation across the east. So if you live out there towards the Ohio Valley, the Mid-Atlantic, the Northeast, this could definitely be bringing down a little bit of, precipitation. It looks like the temperature is going to be relatively too warm for any snow. However, I should say, but like I said, however, though, we should still keep an eye on it because things can, still definitely change regarding the models. But then we have that secondary system here according to the GFS. Now, this model, according to the GFS, has maybe a bit of snow on it out there towards the north, out there towards like Minnesota, maybe Wisconsin, who knows, maybe even areas out there towards Michigan, so we'll have to see. And, like I said before, that second storm, that trough goes a lot further down in the country. It dips down a lot further to the south, which brings down more colder air into the country, a lot further down south. And it really pulls up a lot of warm air from the Gulf of Mexico. So the cold air interacting with the warm air creates the instability, which then, obviously kicks off the thunderstorm. So big thermodynamic shift there. So that is, that's something we need to look out there for the potential of not only the potential for maybe a little bit of snow, but also maybe a bit of severe weather as well, according to those models. And of course, after that, yeah, like I said, after that point, it's just a little too far out to look. But anyways, that is that. That's what we're looking at there, my friend. But we're going to go ahead and hop our way over here to the European model. Now, this is the one that went pretty crazy with that secondary system. Now, the first system overall, rolling through here, once again, it does not look like it's going to be too much of a, like I said, it's definitely, not going to be too much of a precipitation maker across the north, I should say. But like I said, the winds are probably going to be pretty heavy out there, I'd say. Between the 16th and 17th, but the precipitation is really going to start to spark off, it looks like, for the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast. Once again, it should mostly be warm enough, to not really be anything, winter weather related, but just a lot of rain, possibly some flooding, can't be ruled out as well. So we'll have to see about that. But this is second system. Yeah, the second system goes pretty crazy according to the, the ECMWF. I mean, look at that. This one has that low pressure system really far down. You can actually almost see that cold front right there. Basically that warm air that's circling around this area of low pressure, and that cold air that's basically wrapping its way in like this. So that's kind of, what we have going on. So according to the European model, if this does play out, I would definitely say, like I said, I would definitely say that this has a really good shot at producing severe weather for that second storm right around the 20th. Which obviously, yeah, it is still a little far out, but there is, as you've seen, a good amount of model support between the American GFS and the European ECMWF. So there's a good amount of agreement between those two models, which, does seem to be pretty good. All right, let's see here. So, no, I'm not wearing my glasses. Let's see. What is to talk about tropical system? Sorry, I'm just tuning in. Currently in Florida. So, Rebecca, we just talked about the tropical system. So, basically, we came to the conclusion that the models are starting to come to an agreement. We have our an overall 60% chance of tropical development. So, throughout the next 7 days, there's a 60% chance that that system could turn into a tropical storm or a tropical depression overall. So, that is that. Let's see here. But anyways, let's see here. Christine says, hi, what's up? Hope you're doing good. But yeah, Rebecca, we'll go back over the tropics here in a little bit. I just wanted to go ahead and, just quickly brief up that. But that's the two big storm systems, my friends. But lastly, on that subject, before we dive into the current rain problem across the south and the upcoming snow accumulations, we'll talk about that as well. What I want to do, though, is look at the temperatures, because that is something that is going to definitely be affected by those two big storms. So that's something I really want to show you, starting off here with the European model. So first of all, we get the big wave that rolls through here for the 18th, 19th. I mean, look at this. That freezing point here for basically the morning of the 18th, kind of gets, dipped down a little far. My mouse is giving out on me, y'all. I need to get a new mouse. But yeah, so pretty cold temperatures, it looks like. I mean, it really starts to dig more to the south, though, with that second system, I'd say. Oh, yeah. I mean, look at that there for the beginning of that. I mean, it looks like that, those really cold temperatures, I mean, we're talking down in the 40s, will even reach as far south as areas like, Florida, out there towards Florida, maybe. I mean, portions out there towards Alabama. We have Mississippi, maybe even Louisiana. Could be getting pretty cold there with that, big blast out there. But look at this. Pacific Northwest, on the other hand, those temperatures are going to be into the teens, which is pretty crazy. In some areas, well into the negatives for those upper elevations could be a good possibility. So it's, once again, temperatures are going to be a big change, with this upcoming system, or I should say systems overall. So yeah, look at this big old cold front pops off here for the 16th out of that first system. So it literally goes from like the 70s down here straight up into the 40s right in here. So it's like a really big temperature gradient here, which is actually pretty crazy. Let's see here. What's up, William? Hope you're doing good. Glad to have you here. But anyways, yeah, so we work our way further down in time. Obviously, that's going to continue to work its way down deep into the country. And then if we get that really big blast of really cold air, wow! According to the GFS, on the other hand, which, this is pretty far out. Like I said, I don't like looking this far, really. But it has those temperatures getting really cold, possibly even in the teens across the northeast, which, like I said, that's still a little bit far out for my liking. I wouldn't really trust that completely yet, but, I wouldn't be surprised overall. I'm curious to know what that little area down there is doing. You see that, guys? It's a dot that's just sitting over there. That is really interesting. What is going on over there? I don't think I've ever seen something like that. So the temperatures is a lot cooler just in that one little dot out in the eastern Pacific. It's not a tropical system, I can tell you that. That is really interesting. That is really, really interesting. Let's see here. What's the chance of the Great Lakes getting one more severe weather event? Very slim. Very, very unlikely. Let's see here. That's a major cold event. Oh, yeah. No, it definitely could be bringing down some real cold temperatures. I definitely, between those two big troughs there, a lot of cold air is going to be, just working its way down in the country. I think it's a really good, solid potential. So, yeah, we'll have to definitely be monitoring that over the next little bit. But all right, guys, well, let's go ahead and work our way over here to the current storm. So once again, right now we have ourselves a lot of rain popping off here down towards Texas, which is, like I said, much needed for these areas. You guys have been super, super dry lately. So we're talking a good amount of precipitation. We'll get into accumulations in a second. So overall, this system here is expected to really develop a pretty strong central low pressure, and then work its way across the coastal Gulf here overall, and then potentially kick its way out to sea. So areas out there towards, the southeast coast could really see a good amount of rainfall. especially for right in these regions here. So mostly out there towards, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama. I mean, even portions of like Panhandle, Florida could see a good amount of rainfall overall out of the system. Several inches, at most we're talking maybe up to like 4 inches or so, according to some models here. We'll have to look at that. But anyways, that is, that's what the models are, showing us. We're going to look here in a minute. But yeah, a lot of rainfall is going to be working its way down there towards Texas. Once again, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama overall. We're going to go ahead and hop our way over here to the future radar, and then we'll dive into the overall, the overall accumulations and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and hop our way over here to the models. We're going to take a look and see what the latest and greatest NAM has to say here. So obviously we get that storm pops this way. You know what? We're going to have to do this. Hold on a minute. We're going to hop down to the south central U.S. There we go. A lot better. But anyways, so overall we get a lot of rain that works its way out there towards, Texas. The timing you can see there for tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening. Kind of exiting out of, Texas for the most part, but, it's going to really start to rain out there towards the afternoon, evening hours here for Louisiana. And like I said, it's going to be a pretty decent low pressure system there. You can actually see how that defined low is, pretty nice. Nothing too crazy, but it's definitely a pretty decent system overall. But yeah, driving a lot of rain down across the southeast here between obviously today, for the late 12th, which right now it's popping off through all the 13th out there through Texas. Mostly going to be raining out there towards, Louisiana and portions here, Mississippi, right around the 14th, 15th across Mississippi, Alabama, and then it continues working its way here to the east overall, in which then at that point, the system could, drive some more rain out there, possibly towards Florida, towards Georgia, and then maybe could get caught up with some more moisture and maybe, turn into a subtropical system. Just off the coast of the Mid-Atlantic. So we'll have to see how that plays out there. But that's what's going on with this guy regarding right now. So that is that. But all right, guys. Well, we're going to go ahead and hop over here to the overall accumulations. So let's go ahead and hop over here just for a minute while I get that set up here. But yeah, like I said, a lot of rainfall. It's definitely really good news for the people down there because, it's been very dry lately, like I said. Overall, so that is, definitely something that we need to, look out for. Is, like I said, flooding even could be a problem across some of those regions out there. But anyways, let's go ahead and hop away over here to the overall view here regarding the total precipitation out there. So we're going to look at over the next 72 hours, or basically the next, let's see here, 72 hours, I believe. That's like mostly like 2.5 days, I think. But let's go ahead and jump over there right now. So when it comes to the model here, let's see, we're going to go ahead and actually start off here at the south, out there by, let's see here, Texas. So when it comes to the rainfall over the next 2.5 days, basically, pretty much the storm's total precipitation, I should say. This is not taken into consideration of what has already fallen for the most part, but you can see how a lot of the coast out there, throughout coastal Texas, it's going to be between, 1 and 2 inches of rainfall, which is, like I said, a really good amount of rainfall out there. So, expect a decent amount, especially out there towards Houston. Houston's probably going to be seeing maybe up between 1 and 2 inches, possibly around 2 inches. Seems to be a good possibility. Areas like Dallas, though, probably not going to see hardly anything, if anything at all. Overall, out there in those regions. The rain's going to stick mostly to the coast here of Texas for the most part. So, I really don't see too much rain going out in those regions at all out of the system. So you guys are going to remain a little dry for a little longer. But across the further southeast here overall, obviously for places out there towards like Louisiana, areas out there even towards like Florida. Wow, that's updated quite a bit. So we have ourselves a lot more precipitation than I was actually expecting. The models have, or the NDFD has really popped off in the accumulation here. Look at this. So some areas out there towards Mobile could be seen maybe between 3 and 5 inches of rainfall out there towards Mobile. If that happened, that would be pretty nasty. That's too much rainfall. And like I said, if you introduce a lot of rainfall in a short period of time, obviously that creates flooding, but especially to a place that has really dry soil that has not really seen too much precipitation lately, introducing a lot of this could be, unfortunately pretty daggone impactful overall. So yeah, but we're talking, like I said, between 2 and 4 inches here across this region overall. It looks like Florida is even going to get a little bit of precipitation out there as well, especially on the eastern coast. Some areas here are going over an inch overall. But yeah, a lot of the heaviest precipitation, as you can see, is going to mostly be here in this area out there. Pretty much for like southeastern Louisiana, portions of southern Mississippi. We got southern Alabama, western Florida. Yeah, up towards the Panhandle. It potentially could be pretty crazy. Let's see here. Looks like Baton Rouge is going to get some major rain from the storm. Oh yeah, no, Baton Rouge probably will get between 2 and 3 inches of rainfall. Let's see here. Tampa's looking like a little bit rain, a little more rain now. Well, let's see here. So right now on the radar, it looks like it's relatively calm. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's much happening on the current radar. There is a bit of precipitation out there in Florida, though. Mostly there towards, let's see, current radar view has it down towards the south and off the east coast here. Let's see here. What's up, Scott? Hope you're doing good. Christine says, I'm in the Big Bend, Florida. We need rain, but it looks like a lot. It potentially could be, yeah. Let me actually hop over here to a model that goes further out. We'll do the GFS first, actually. Let's see here. Wow, dude. Dude, GFS, on the other hand, goes absolute wild. Look at this, guys. So the GFS, now don't trust this one model particularly, but the GFS has up to 15 inches in some areas out there, which is pretty crazy. Let's see here. Crystal, coming in here with a $5 Cash App donation. Thank you so much, Crystal. That is greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. Thank you. You did not have to do that. You guys give Crystal Miller a big thank you for supporting us on our Cash App. Thank you so much, Crystal. You did not have to do that. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Very, very sweet of you. Big shout out goes to you. Thank you once again. It's very, very sweet of you. But yeah, the GFS goes pretty nuts out there. Possibly up to like 15 inches in some areas, which, like I said, I don't trust the GFS that much. But it definitely does kind of agree on those areas here, mostly getting between maybe 3 and 5 inches. I could probably see that, but yeah, it getting that high, I'm a little skeptical overall. But it does show that areas out there towards, Florida could definitely get pretty rainy, especially there on the east coast of Florida. It looks like you guys are probably going to get a decent amount of precipitation out there. So that is overall, what we are looking at there. Let's see. Crystal said I just cast out. Yeah, thank you so much once again, Crystal. I appreciate that. That is very, very sweet of you. So once again, thank you so much for that. You did not have to do that. Super, super sweet of you. But let's go ahead and take a look here at the European model. Let's see here. We're gonna obviously compare the two. European. I definitely agree with the European a lot more in this standpoint. Overall, from my professional opinion here, overall. Showing the heavy accumulation between mostly 2 and 4 inches. That seems to be the most likely probability overall there. So this will be good, and this model actually has pretty much all of Florida getting near an inch, if not over an inch of rainfall in most areas. Florida out there, according to ECMWF, this will definitely be pretty good. Even for me, this would be very beneficial because it's been very dry here. For the last little bit for me, over the last several weeks here. I mean, I've been down here for over a month now at this point, and it's only rained good like one time since I've been down here, so it's pretty crazy. Let's see here. Florida's in a drought. Yes, it is. David says, how's Notches, Mississippi? So you're good, my friend. There's nothing crazy going on. I saw your comment on my video earlier. It would not let me reply to it for some reason, but there's no tornado threat, so you're fine. I would keep an eye on those 2 big storm systems, though. I mean, really the second one, I should say. For the 20th, but that's, we'll have to watch that one a little longer before I before we really start to learn more about it. Let's see here. See, I know, it won't help you with the sandwich. Crystal, once again, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for that. It's very, very nice of you. But anyways, so overall, like I said, bottom line, guys, a lot of rain could be in the forecast out there. Now, let's go ahead and work our way over here to snowfall, actually. I do want to talk about the next amount of snowfall coming up, or the next 48 hours here. So like we mentioned before in the video, the northeast here is actually in the forecast to get a little bit of snow. I mean, nothing crazy, obviously, but just a little bit of a clipper system. It looks like, possibly driving maybe a coat to maybe an inch or two in some areas. It shows a lot of localized areas possibly getting between like 1 to 1.5 inches. It looks like overall. But yeah, most of these areas here is, just a couple tenths of an inch, which is, would have literally like no impacts at all. But yeah, so, that's out there towards, basically northeastern New York State, throughout Vermont, New Hampshire, obviously Maine, for the next 48 hours. Nothing too crazy. Ice accumulations, no ice on it, so that's, that's obviously good. We don't want any ice out there because, that could definitely be a problem. Let's see here. So, oh, there we go. So that's the system right there. Let's go and hop our way down to 18 Zulu. Yeah, there you go. So you can actually see, we're going to go ahead and full screen this again. So you can actually see that little system, that little itty-bitty snowstorm we were looking at here. Go ahead and line up that time there for y'all. But it looks like it starts here for the afternoon tomorrow. Right around the afternoon, starting to snow across northern New York State, going through Vermont, right around the evening, right around 7 p.m. Eastern. Obviously working its way towards New Hampshire. Right around the same time, actually, maybe a little bit later. And of course, it takes a little bit, but then eventually it starts rolling into portions of Maine as a couple of snow showers. But it looks like most of it actually is going to be out of Maine. It looks like the most heaviest accumulation is going to be in this area here. Basically out there towards, northeastern New York State, throughout Vermont, throughout New Hampshire overall. So that's where the the snow is going to be mostly felt here. But once again, it's going to start tomorrow afternoon, it looks like. And it's going to really fizzle out there basically for the afternoon on the 14th. I mean, it'll still be snowing actually for the morning of the 14th as well. So it'll be, kicking off obviously throughout tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening into the morning of the 14th. And then pretty much die out there. Anyways, but let's see here. But that is definitely what we are seeing there with that little system. Also, across the upper northwest, I do want to mention, since we're on the topic of snow, where did I do with it? Actually, you know what, we're going to do this. We're going to work our way up here to the northwest. So, we're going to full screen this view overall. Was I on that view the whole time? Whoops. Anyways, but yeah, for the next 48 hours, guys, regarding snowfall overall, we are talking, good amount of snowfall for those upper elevations there. Possibly some areas here up over a foot or two could be possible out there towards, the central northern mountains up there towards Washington State. Obviously, you guys are going to be getting pretty heavy snow overall. So if you live out there, look out there for that. Also, a little bit of snow out there towards, these regions of northern Idaho, northwestern Montana overall. Let's see here. Them two systems impact Ohio. Potentially, yeah. Crystal, I think that, the first system is, not going to be too much precipitation. Maybe some windy conditions out there for the first system, and a bit of cool air. Then the second system, that could bring a bit of precipitation. So we'll have to see about that. Yeah, that second system that we were looking at earlier, that one looks to be a little bit more crazy. We'll get back into that here in a minute, but it definitely looks a little bit more crazy overall. But anyways, so that's that, my friends, regarding snowfall. Let's see here. So when it comes to activity, we do have ourselves a bit of precipitation right now, working its way across the Pacific Northwest out there. You can see a big band of rainfall, which is already there if you look at the current radar view. So you can see it out there. It exists. But yeah, down in time here, according to this, it looks like it's going to be really kind of snowing pretty heavily up there towards those upper elevations for the next several hours, really. So look out there for that if you live out for those upper elevations. Just just look out for it. Let's see here. But that is so that's what's going on, and regarding to that system across Pacific Northwest. Once again, nothing too crazy out there either. But anyways, all right, guys, we're going to recycle here. We're going to hop back over to the tropics for the new viewers and everybody who's just now joining. So we're going to talk about, basically, we talked about again here. We're starting over, basically. So, like I said, we've been watching the tropics here for the last couple of days. According to the Hurricane Center, the probability of a tropical depression or tropical storm has increased now to a 60% chance probability. So basically what that means is that So from now until 7 days, so basically the next week from now, so this week I should say, there is a 60% chance that this area here could see a tropical depression or tropical storm form in that region throughout the next 7 days, or like I said, the next week essentially. So overall across that region, it has a 60% chance probability. It went from a 40% this morning to a 50% in the video to now a 60%. So overall probability has increased across those regions there. And probability over the next 48 hours, the next 2 days, is expected to be low, basically 0%. So we're not expecting this thing to be a tropical system within the next 2 days. So it's going to be a little bit of time before that starts popping off anyways. But yeah, so that's that overall. I wanted to go ahead and mention that. But yeah, back over to the models regarding the latest information here, from what the models have to say. We're going to hop over here back to the GFS run. So like I said, we work our way down in time. We got that big rainstorm out there towards the southeastern United States out there, driving a lot of rain. Like I said, some areas several inches can be expected. But then if you look out here towards Central America, just north of Panama, you'll notice we get ourselves a pretty decent well-defined central circulation out there. Little low-pressure system pops off, and it actually picks up some strength as it tracks its way to the northeast. It really starts to gather its strength here for the 16th into the 17th overall. Then once we work our way up there towards the 18th, the American GFS has this system, really starting to organize a bit as it approaches near Jamaica. And of course, goes right over there towards like the Dominican Republic, driving potentially a lot of rainfall out there overall. And then, of course, from that point on, it moves its way further out to sea, out to the northeast. So, so it really looks like, this thing's going to really start to pop off here pretty much for the 16th, gather some strength throughout the 17th, obviously make, potential impacts on the Caribbean right around the 18th, and then track its way out to sea. That's one model, though. Like I said, obviously, you can't trust one particular model alone, so then we move our way over here to the ECMWF, which is the European model overall. This one agrees for the most part. Obviously, having this system roll its way, right over, actually a little bit, closer towards Jamaica rather than the GFS, but then has it working its way out there towards, the Caribbean overall, and then once again working its way out there towards out to sea for the most part. So those two models, the two main models, the American GFS and the ECMWF. Those two models are basically saying, that this system is going to be, relatively slow paced for the most part. Relatively, slow time gathering its strength a bit. But it looks like the track is becoming pretty solid as it's going to continue to the northeast. It looks like overall. So that's the updates on the tropics overall. We got ourselves a CMC model here, which is another model run here. Overall popping off pretty similar to what both the American GFS and the European had to say here. Otherwise, but it does work its way to the east and then just does a 180 and then completely turns back to the left here, which is pretty interesting overall. And of course, last we have the Icon model. Icon agrees, once again, similar with the GFS and the ECMWF, the European model has to say. Going right over Jamaica here, basically between the morning of the 17th. This model actually has it happening a little bit earlier than all these other ones, but we'll have to see. Let's see here. Let's see. Chris says, I want a white Christmas. I hear you, but I do too, but, Florida's not really prone for that. Let's see here. Polar Vortex coming in here with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, dude. Greatly appreciated. Saying, I love hearing the word snow. Hoping for some good lake effect snow this winter across east of Lake Ontario. Well, I hope that you get just that, Polar Vortex. Thank you for the 5. That's very sweet of you. Much appreciated, my friend. And like I said, hope you get all the snow that you wish for because, like I said, we have the Arctic jet stream, obviously, going over some of these areas up north, which, obviously, with those stronger winds, could fire off a little bit of lake effect snow. I could definitely say that could be a good possibility. Also, nor'easters out there, which is relatively to the east of you, but I think there could be some pretty good nor'easters out there. But I think you might be in store for a good amount of precipitation. We'll have to see. But once again, Polar Vortex, that's very sweet of you. Thank you so much for that $5 super chat. Very, very generous of you. Let's see here. Bob says, "Hey NWW, what's up, Bob? Hope you're doing good. Glad to have you here. Hope everything is well with you." Let's see here. I've never seen a White Christmas before, and no one that I can remember anyway. Because those two small one happened. I only had it like once, I remember. There's only one time I remember, and it was a long time ago. It's definitely a while ago. There we go. Now it's coming through. Once again, Polar Vortex, thank you, dude. That's very, very sweet of you. I appreciate that. Very, very sweet of you. So, big shout out goes out to you. But yeah, so once again, you know, I think you could get, you know, a little bit of a wintry, or so I should say a little bit of a snowy winter, I should say. It seems possible. But all right, guys. Well, that's the tropics here. We're gonna work our way back over here to that big storm that we're talking about. Like, two big storms, I should say. So these are the ones, guys, we gotta really be looking out for. This is the one I'm mostly, you know, a little concerned about here overall for the country. You know, mostly that second storm. So at the current time being, actually, before we move on here, I do want to look at this. Let's see. We're gonna full screen this here for you guys. I do want to see if it's actually visible on the satellite view right now. That big trough that we were looking at out there. Let's see here. Go west view. It'll load. There we go. Oh, there it is right there. Well, there you go. So, yeah, there's that trough right there, y'all. You can actually see it. See that big spinning thing here? That is that's your trough. That is currently what is shown on this view right there. So, there you go. So that trough is going to continue working its way kind of to the south. So you can see the jet stream, how it goes like this, you know, kind of goes around and then does something funky like this. So if you look, you notice how we have this big of an arch. You see how we have the arch across the central country? That is actually allowing for warm air to slowly creep its way into the country and actually allow for relatively above average temperatures, meaning a lot warmer across the central country over the next couple of days. But yeah, so remember the jet stream pattern. So it kind of goes something like this, you know, overall. So we got that high pressure, which, you know, if you see a big ridge, a big mountain like that in the jet stream, that means it's high pressure, which means that it's typically clear and relatively warmer than usual. But anyways, so watch that trough. So you can see how the jet stream, you know, brings it down. So that is we call a long wave trough. Then we work our way down in time. Now look at this, right around basically the 14th and the 15th. Look what happens to the jet stream. So at this point, you know, basically throughout the 16th, you notice how the main jet stream does this, but it kind of detached from that one trough that was there. So this is what we call a shortwave trough, now that it's been detached from the main jet stream. But look at this. There's actually another itty-bitty trough if you guys look out there towards the north, basically here for the 16th across, you know, like North-South Dakota, increased wind shear, and also there's going to be stronger winds out there. I definitely think it probably will be pretty windy out there for the 16th and 17th across the northern plains and the upper Midwest, so look out there for that. But yeah, so pay attention to this guy as well. This will be our second system overall that's going to work its way in the country. So anyways, but we work our way down through the 16th, into the 17th, and you can see here right for the morning of the 18th, you know, that trough here starts to kind of reattach itself back to the main jet stream, and also, as you can see, the big dip in the jet stream here pops off across the Ohio Valley, a bit of high pressure across the west here, and so we get that storm that rolls across the Ohio Valley here overall, and then works its way up to the northeast. That's where we probably can see a lot of precipitation. So this, you know, this first system is going to drive a lot of rain for portions up there towards, you know, the mid-Atlantic and the northeast. Probably pretty windy out there as well. But yeah, watch that second system though. So as we work our way further down in time, that second system really kicks off a lot deeper into the country, which with it being a lot deeper means that there's going to be a lot more cooler air working its way down further to the south here. So a lot more cold air is working further down in the country. In which that means also a lot of warm air pulling up from the Gulf of Mexico. So we're going to get ourselves possibly a little bit of a severe weather setup, potentially, I'd think. I definitely think it's a good possibility there for the 20th into the 21st overall, which obviously will be bringing, you know, possibly a bit of precipitation overall as well. So it's really those two guys we got to look out there for. So the first one roll through, detach on the jet stream, turns into a shortwave trough. Our first system rolls through here for the 16th through 17th, 18th, 19th. Kind of exits by the 20th, and then on the 20th, we got ourselves our second system that rolls through overall. Let's see here. Bob says I got to sadly go. All right, we'll see you later, Bob. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your night. But yeah, so that's what the models show. You know, the same thing with the European model overall. As you can see here, there's a lot of agreement between those models. You know, the big dip in the jet stream here, a lot of ridging across the central country, Obviously, the detach, happens here where it's, that one trough is on its own. And of course, we get that first system that rolls through, the reattaching of the jet stream, and then boom. Yeah, the European model actually has that system being a little bit more crazy, a little bit more potent, I should say, across the South and across like the Midwest. I think you guys should really watch out for that one because this one, the second storm, I think could really throw out some snow, maybe obviously some rain, maybe severe weather potentially. So that's that. Let's see, that's old run of GFS. No, that's the new 12 Zulu. Or hold on a minute. No, that's the ECMWF. That is the new 18 Zulu. Yeah. But anyways, yeah. When I said old 12 Zulu, I'm like, wait a minute. 12 Zulu doesn't come out until like 8 a.m. But anyways. But yeah, I mean, like I said, guys, definitely look out there for that. Also, I just realized here, it's kind of hard to tell, but you see that little trough right there across the southeast? That's that southeast rainstorm we were talking about. The thing's going to be bringing a lot of rain. Look at that. Oh, it's smiling at us. Look. It's happy. It's smiling at us. Look at that. We got the triple troughs. The triple troughing. So we got the storm out to the east, out there in the East Pacific, one out to the west, one out to the west, one out to the east, and then it's a big smiley face, y'all. Hold on a minute. It even has some bangs too. Look at that. Oh, look, it's also blushing too. It's blushing too. Oh my gosh. What have I done? What have I done? Oh my gosh. Anyways. The things that we come across here on the weather is pretty funny. Anyways, let's see. It looks like Western Kentucky's going to be a wild ride. Maybe, yeah, maybe. Especially for that second system I'd watch out for. The first system, probably not too much. Let me actually see, though, regarding the winds for that first and second system. I'm curious to see. Let's see here. 10 meter. There we go. All right, let's see here. So the first system that rolls through, it definitely looks like it gets pretty windy out there towards the northern plains. That's not even wind gusts, actually. Let me pull up wind gusts. That's what we want to look for. Let's see here. I have to yeah, that's what we're gonna have to do. So let's full screen this again. And then we're going to pull up the GFS. We're going to look out there towards the United States. And we're going to hop up to the north here. U.S. Corn Belt. The good old Corn Belt. Let's see. Is there not wind gusts? Come on, dude. Where's the wind gusts out there? Anyways. Yeah, so both systems does look like it definitely could be pretty windy. I mean, we're talking like over 25 mile an hour sustained. Let's see about the European model. It's got to be some wind gusts on this one. Yeah, here we go. Wind gusts. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. So, yeah, with the second system and the first system, yeah, it could be gusting over 30, which would be right around 35, maybe 40 mile an hour wind gusts overall. Interesting. Let's see here. Yeah, that's definitely pretty interesting. Let's see what other models support that. Yeah, I don't think HRRR goes out that far. Yeah, no. Even the 00 Zulu, I don't think even goes out that far. Well, actually, you know what? No, it does. Yeah, this is in miles an hour, guys. So. Actually, as we work our way into the 14th, look at that. It gets really windy. Really, really windy across these areas here. Look at that. That's interesting. So out there towards, Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin, we're talking winds over 30 miles an hour. Some reason actually regions up to 50 and 60. It really shows like southern Minnesota getting some heavy stuff out there. Robin says that was funny. That was pretty funny. But let's see here. But yeah, so expect some windy conditions. I'm actually curious to see the whole, not just that part of the country, but the whole U.S. Here we go. So this is in miles an hour, guys. Remember that. So we work way down in time. Yeah, so yeah, that jet really intensifies. So basically, guys, for the morning of the 14th, it's going to get pretty windy across some of these regions there. Also a bit windy out there towards the southeast, it looks like as well, potentially. So we got there for that. But anyways, guys, well, I feel like we covered just about everything twice for the most part. It's been about an hour since we've been here, my friends, so I think we're probably going to be cutting it here pretty soon. I just want to say thank you guys for joining us tonight. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your night. And if there's any final questions you guys have before we roll off here, feel free to let me know. Yeah, we'll be here for you guys. Like I said, and also after stream, we have our Discord, so feel free to join our Discord as well, and all that fun stuff. See, I'm getting 0 mile an hour winds right now. Wow. Might want to watch out for that. Better watch out it doesn't blow down some trees, you know. You know, those wind gusts up to 0 miles an hour are pretty bad. Pretty bad. But anyways, but like I said, y'all, yeah, thank you guys for joining us. I appreciate y'all being here and you know, everything like that. You know, once again, thank y'all. We got 2 big shout outs tonight. One goes to Polar Vortex, thank you so much, as well as Crystal Miller. Thank you guys, both y'all, for supporting us. Y'all absolutely rock. We love you guys, which is super sweet of y'all. But yeah, like I said, just know we'll be here for you guys. Tomorrow, I don't think I'm making a video. I made 2 videos in a row today, or 2 videos in a row each day. So tomorrow I'm gonna hold off on a video. I need a break from that because it takes me like 5 hours to make a video. I will do a live stream though. Obviously, we'll do a live stream. I think I'm gonna start setting my live streams for 8. Pretty sure I'm probably gonna start them for 8. How can I join the Discord? So in the description of this live stream, you guys can check it out. It says our Discord, so that's there. So just click on that link and it'll take you to the invite. But anyways, yeah, guys. So I think that's gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. Let's see here. One last thing. Let's see, simulated radar out there. Oh yeah. So yeah, we're gonna end it with a bang here. We're gonna look at the simulated radar. So that's what the weather's gonna look like for the next couple of days. Yep. So obviously we have the Pacific Northwest getting a bit of moisture out there. We have portions out there towards the south experiencing a bit of moisture as well. Out there towards the southern plains, out there towards the southeast, and of course we have ourselves a little bit of snow actually for the northeast out there. Thanks, Court, for putting that up there. But all right, you guys. Well, thank you all for joining us. That's gonna go ahead and wrap it up here for the night. We've been live for a little over an hour. I am going to get off here, get some rest, because I've been up for a while, a little tired. And but yeah, well, you guys take care. Once again, we love y'all. Please be safe out there. Daniel says hi from Ohio. Hi, Daniel. Hope you're doing good, and I hope to see you in the next live stream. Once again, we're probably gonna do tomorrow's live stream around 8 o'clock. I'm thinking overall, but we'll get to that here tomorrow. But okay, guys. Well, you all take care. Let's see here. Thank you all for joining. Y'all be safe out there, and all right. Well, you guys. Have a wonderful rest of your night, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow. All right, guys, stream's going to head off here in approximately 2 minutes. Go ahead and say your final goodbyes to your friends and family, and we'll catch you guys later on. Peace out, my friends. See you tomorrow.